When all seems hopeless in the world, God is still in control. He works through his obedient children to bring light to those around them. One individual used by God for greatness was Moses. Moses lived in ancient Egypt at around 1400 BC. At this time, Israel had been enslaved in captivity of Egypt for over 400 years and was desperate for God to move. Moses was born of a woman in the tribe of Levi. His mother did not think it was safe to keep him in her home, so she put him in a basket in the Nile River, and he was soon found by Pharaoh's daughter and became her son. One day, Moses saw an Egyptian beating a Hebrew, and he became so angry that he killed that Egyptian. And in fear, he fled to Midian, where he then tended sheep. While in Midian, Moses was met by the voice of the Lord, and he was called back into Egypt to free the Israelites of their land. Moses objected. He said that he could not speak eloquently, but God said he would use Moses, and he would help him by providing his brother Aaron, who could speak eloquently for him to the Israelites. Finally, Moses obeyed. He journeyed to Egypt and begged Pharaoh to let Israel out of Egypt. Pharaoh said no to Moses, but God then sent several signs of power to Pharaoh and then changed his mind. First, God allowed Moses to turn a wooden staff into a snake, but this didn't first turn Pharaoh's heart. Then God sent plagues to Egypt through Moses. He turned the water to blood. He then sent swarms of frogs, gnats, and flies across Egypt. Then he killed all the Egyptian livestock. After this, the Egyptians were infested with boils over their skin. Then a fierce hail rained from the heavens into Egypt. Next came a plague of locusts, and then a wave of total darkness across the land. And finally, the death angel was sent to kill every Egyptian firstborn son. At last, Pharaoh was humbled, and he allowed the Egyptians to leave Egypt. But soon after letting them go, Pharaoh changed his mind and sent his army to send them back. But God was protecting Israel at this time. He allowed Moses to open the Red Sea, allowing the Israelites to walk through, but then drowning the Egyptians behind them. Once Israelites entered the Promised Land, they lost their faith in God and began to doubt his providence. And because of this, they were punished to 40 years of wandering through the wilderness. While they wandered in the wilderness, Moses was the Israelites' leader, their judge, their interceder between God and the Israelites. Moses received God's law through the 10 Commandments while he was on Mount Sinai. He then instructed the Israelites in how to live holy lives. Unfortunately, Moses was not able to enter the Promised Land, along with all the Israelites who lacked faith in God in the beginning. Moses died whenever he was 120 years old, and then Joshua led Israel into the Promised Land at last. Moses was just an average man. He made mistakes and he had limitations, but God used him to accomplish great things for the Jewish nation. Many of us today may also feel ill-equipped for greatness. We may see areas of need around us, but we expect someone else who's greater than us to be used to solve it. But God is calling you, as he is also calling me, to rise up and make a difference. We may not be able to change the whole world, but God can. He wants to partner with his children as they bring light and make a change.